Isn't it incredible that like a few months ago, the media, all the politicians, what they were discussing was whether or not the Iranian regime, as they call it, the Islamic Republic of Iran, would even survive. And now, what is the negotiating point? What is the hot topic? The hot topic is not whether Iran will survive. The hot topic is whether or not there will be a 7% or a 5% fee on all ships that go through the Strait of Hormuz. Trump just shit the bed on what could have been, you know, a very good thing for him. A very good thing for the United States. A very good thing for those who want de-escalation in this conflict. A very good thing for maybe, dare I say, even the oil markets. The only problem was that Trump was not the one in control. And if you've noticed one thing over the past month or so, since the memorandum of understanding fell apart and was torn into little pieces and flushed down the toilet, there's one thing that has been consistent throughout this entire time, and that is that Iran has, by and large, you know, they have dictated the pace of this conflict to the United States. Trump says, "Oh, we're doing ceasefire negotiations now, and Iranians are talking with us." And then Iran just bombs a base. Oh, Iran is about to open the Strait of Hormuz. Iran bombs a ship. You know, Iran is in control right now, and it suits them. It suits them. It's like a perfectly fitted suit. You know, this is exactly what positions them in the place that's best for actually securing a victory that is meaningful and will achieve the goals that they've set about in this conflict. Now, Trump screwed everything up this week. Trump said that, oh, you know, we're expecting a new deal for the opening of the Strait of Hormuz come Tuesday night or Wednesday, I think was what he was saying. He said, if you don't open up the Strait of Hormuz by Tuesday or Wednesday, we're going to start very big strikes you've never seen before. He also said that for every single ship that Iran targets and strikes in the Strait of Hormuz, Trump is going to respond by hitting a bridge or power plant in Iran. That never happened either. Trump said that every single ship that's struck in the Strait of Hormuz by Iran, the U.S. is going to seize part of Iran's frozen assets abroad, and he's going to pay the ship owners a fee or something like that. He doesn't have to, but Trump is just such a generous person. He literally said that. And obviously, that never happened. But anyways, Trump apparently got wind of this agreement that was being discussed by Iran and Oman. There were negotiations taking place over the past couple months, but they've heated up over the past couple weeks between Iran and Oman, without the United States, about a new security framework in the Strait of Hormuz. He got wind of this, and somehow or another, he found out, Trump, that this agreement was going to be announced today. So Trump came out and said all these crazy things like, oh, we're going to do something. We're going to strike Iran in a way that's bigger than anyone's ever seen before. It's going to be the biggest attack you've seen since World War II, unless Iran comes out with a new agreement for the Strait of Hormuz and opens it up tomorrow. So he had no insight into this deal. He was not a part of the negotiations, and he was saying all of this under the impression that Iran was going to announce this agreement with Oman sometime in the middle of this week. And that was the plan. Iran and Oman were planning to put out a finalized, draft of this agreement, and it would be extended upon how well it worked. And I'll show you a little bit about what was going on here. According to this deal, this was from Axios. They got some of the stuff wrong in this deal. According to this deal, all inbound traffic of ships through the Strait of Hormuz into the Gulf would go into the northern lane through Iranian waters. All outbound traffic through the Strait and into the Arabian Sea would go through the southern lane through Omani waters in coordination with Iran, meaning that the IRGC Navy, it's muted. Are we good? Refresh your page if it's muted. It was glitching. Are we back? I think it should be good now. Okay. Meaning that the Iranian Navy would have to approve each and every ship that's exiting. So it would still have to go through Omani waters, but Iran would have the final say as to whether or not it would actually be able to exit. So this was a huge deal. This was a huge deal, and Iran and Oman were about to announce this all. And then Iran came out and they said, hey, United States, first of all, we have no intention to reopen the Strait of Hormuz, because that was one of the points that Axios, Barak Ravid, was reporting in this. He said there would be no tolls or fees on the Strait of Hormuz for any ships during a 60-day test window. So the Iranians came out and they said, look, we have no intention to open it up for everyone. We have no intention to allow ships to pass for free. We categorically reject reports that this would be the reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, and any actual reopening is conditional on the United States fulfilling the following: lifting its naval blockade, lifting all sanctions on Iranian oil, petrochemicals, and gas exports, releasing all of Iran's frozen funds, ending the war in Lebanon, accepting Iran's right to collect maritime fees on every ship. So it seems as though Trump got a little bit ahead of himself. It seems as though Trump was under the impression that with the publishing of the framework of this deal for regulation of the Strait of Hormuz, Iran was actually going to open the Strait of Hormuz. But the facts couldn't have been any different. Iran was just going to come out and tell everyone, like, when the time comes that we do open the Strait of Hormuz, we will be charging tolls. This is where ships will enter. This is where ships will exit. This is how the approval process is going to go. And but we're not ready for that yet. First, the United States needs to do all of this. So why was Trump doing this? Trump was doing this because he wanted to be able to come out and gloat that he was the one responsible for opening the Strait of Hormuz, that this was all his undertaking, and that secretly he was involved in the negotiations, even though, as we now see, that couldn't have been further from the truth. We also have reports that Iran is demanding a 7% transit fee on all commercial vessels passing through the Strait of Hormuz, while the United States is seeking to negotiate the rate down to 5%. Isn't it incredible that, like, a few months ago, the media, all the politicians, what they were discussing was whether or not the Iranian regime, as they call it, the Islamic Republic of Iran, would even survive. And now, what is the negotiating point? What is the hot topic? The hot topic is not whether Iran will survive. The hot topic is whether or not there will be a 7% or a 5% fee on all ships that go through the Strait of Hormuz. Of course, Russia and Chinese will be exempt from that fee, as you can probably imagine. Iran's foreign ministry says a joint announcement by Iran and Oman regarding the Strait of Hormuz is in its final stage if certain parties do not interfere. Well, guess what? They did interfere. Trump did. He tried to make this all about himself. So Iran announced its Strait of Hormuz agreement with Oman is hereby postponed over U.S. interference in Trump's threats, saying Iran will not conclude any agreement under the shadow of threats. Iran adds Trump is trying to claim credit for an agreement that is purely with Oman, stating that even with an agreement between Iran and Oman, the Strait of Hormuz will not open if the United States continues its violations, with reopening contingent upon a change in U.S. behavior and the correction of its violations. There you go. So Trump made himself look like a fool. It was never going to reopen anyways. This was just to announce the geographic framework of the regulation of the Strait of Hormuz moving forward when it does eventually reopen. He tried to take credit for all of this. And now as a result, Iran said, just kidding, we're not going to even announce this. We're not going to announce this future opening of the Strait of Hormuz. And also, by the way, we're going to strike some more vessels who are trying to illegally cross the Strait of Hormuz. Greek-owned oil tanker Minoan Pioneer can be seen in Sentinel-2 satellite imagery leaking oil in the Strait of Hormuz. The tanker was attempting to transit the Strait of Hormuz under the protection of the U.S. Navy on the Omani side, but was struck by Iran. Nothing new under the sun. Trump makes a fool of himself once more. Before you leave, I want to say thank you for the support, because after 2 years of being banned, we are finally back home on YouTube. So be sure to subscribe to our channel and also join as a member on our channel using the link at the top of the description. I rely on the generous support of viewers like yourself to get the truth out to as many people as possible. You can also support the show on Locals or Give Sin Go. The mainstream media and the powers that be are never going to stop attacking us for bringing the truth to as many people as we do. Thank you so much for your support.